Oh, here we go. Hot Rods, Blazing Topics. It's your boy Hot Rod here, back with another one. Here with another episode. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining in. If you're joining in now live, uh, I just like to say sorry to my disappearance last week. I was kind of away out of the city. I had to go do a training for my job, so I was gone for the last 4 days. Last week, and I literally was busy. Literally, I could not be able to record on top of schoolwork and stuff. So I was wrapping up a semester that's ending literally tomorrow. So after this, actually, I have to get on, get straight up to the video presentation for my course and get that thing submitted in before 5 o'clock tomorrow. But I definitely said I wasn't going to skip 2 weeks in a row. I didn't want to let down, disappoint, so I'm on here and I'm on here live today. So I'm not going to waste too much of people's time. I feel as though uh, I like to get right into it. But before we do start, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, tap notification bell. Okay, to get more updates on content as we push this channel. We continue to push this channel. I like to definitely say, starting in 2026, we will be going live on various platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, and even Instagram too as well. So definitely, if you got folks on all different platforms, definitely share that content, share that link. So today, like I always think about like as we close out to the year, right? There's a lot of topics that always comes to mind that we reflect on. And to me, I wanted to kind of talk about, the silent battles, right? What silent battles did you fight this year that nobody know about? It's a lot of things that went on throughout this year for me. I can say, from moving into my own spot, right? From battling injuries and hurting myself, right? Ups and downs, school, changing positions at work, and even in being in school and trying to do this year program is a lot of things. But the most important thing that I felt for myself that I battled this year was having that self realization that I'm the reason why your boy is still damn single, right? When you have to look in the mirror, you strip down from your ego and you be like, damn, let me hold myself. What is it that I felt like this year when it comes to a relationship? Why am I not in a relationship, right? And I know many people might have these type of questions and you wondering like, damn, what is it? Like a lot of times you blame everyone else in the past as to why you're single. But then you realize it's the same results, right? You're the one that's coming out of one relationship to the next, to the next, and to the next. But it's the same result, right? It ends with a heartbreak. It ends with, sadly, you having to leave the relationship, whether it's you caused the breakups or someone else did. But I had to come and realize, like, it's not even about blaming anybody. It's not even about breakup, because I've been through that stage where I said before in the past I've healed, right? I know I took the time to reflect. I took the time to strip down my ego, humble myself, look in the mirror, and be like, okay, what are the things that worked well in the past and what didn't work well that I need to fix on? But I did all of those things, right? So I still wondered, why is it that in 2025 that your boy is still single? And that was a silent battle for me this entire year, because at this point I can't blame anybody else but myself, right? And believe it or not, fellas, women aren't the only one who have a biological clock. We do too. And yeah, we may not biologically go through it, right? When we talk about the body and everything, and being able to, of course, women like to say they can't have kids after a certain age. But we still go through that same ringer when it comes to just the mental standpoint of it. Why is it that me, who just turned 33 years old a couple of months ago, still single at this point, right? Like I said, I've been through that healing stage journey. I did my self-reflection. I've made those adjustments and those changes, right, to become better so that I am well prepared for the next relationship. But why is it still that I'm not getting myself out there to get in a relationship, right? Why am I not getting out there to date? And a lot of times, I feel like the comfortability of being single for a long, long time is probably the reason for that. When I think about what is it that this past year that I could have done, right? What is it that this past year that has stopped me from being able to go meet someone and date? It wasn't like I had difficulty meeting people, but it was me realizing that, damn, like for the past 6 years, I only attempted to date one time. And it was the same result. It was like I had to just leave out of it, and it wasn't because the person was bad. I mean, yeah, everybody has their flaws, but for me, I feel as though it was like I got to the point where I got so comfortable, comfortable with being single, and therefore when opportunities were there to present themselves, I just didn't want to take that step forward because I thought about all the things I would have to go through. I talk about all the sacrifices I would have to do, and I quickly just shut completely off. Right. And that's one aspect of looking at it. Another thing I looked at myself when I was thinking about what was it this year that was a struggle for me to get in a relationship. I actually thought about not just only comfortability, but I thought the fact that I got to the point mentally that I was so far gone when it comes to wanting to date someone that even when someone wanted to approach me, I didn't turn it down, right? And it wasn't because there was something wrong with that individual, but it was to the point where I became so driven on just focusing on myself and doing the things that I wanted to do with my career, with my life, my personal goals, dreams, desires, and everything, you name it, that I let that be the driving force of my life, that my social life got impacted too as well. Like, even when it comes to hanging out with certain people, I just turned off from it. Like, I put all of my time and energy into my consultation business. I put all my time and energy into my schoolwork, right? I'm always thinking about the next goal that I got going on. And now I'm realizing year in and year out, it's the same result. Like, time is just ticking. Like, it's great to do all of those things, right? It's great to go after those challenges that you want to go to in life. But at the same time, when you're having that realization, like, damn, you feel single, you feel lonely, you got to have a self reflection yourself. Be like, okay, like, what is the matter? What really is the matter? And for me, when I reflect on this past year and I reflect in general, I think it's just one, me being single for such a long time. Two, me being too damn driven with and goal oriented. And three, me just being isolated. And it's not, like I said, it's not just being isolated with just meeting new people and relationships. It's just me being isolated, even when trying to socialize and go out with the people. Like, there's been a few times where I've had some friends be like, yo, they invite me, yo, come out, Rod, this X, Y, and Z, we're gonna go have a good time. And I would just be like, I think about the energy of it. I think about what I got going on, what I have to wake up and do the next day, and the next day. I'm chasing this goal and this goal. I'm trying to get this position, this job. I'm trying to get this business partner, X, Y, and Z. That I just feel like I got to a state where I literally shut down my entire social life, and I realized it's not making me well. And for those who may feel the opposing, we're like, ain't nothing wrong with having a being isolated from your social life. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it, but for me, I just feel as though I've realized that change overall hasn't made me well. Now, of course, during the time that I was injured for the past couple of months, I did have a lot of time to self-reflect, right? And it was a lot of times I did see certain changes within people that's in my life, those who were there versus those who wasn't there versus those who I expected to be there versus those who I didn't expect to even show up at all, and they did, right? But it doesn't make me hate or less people even more. You can't, if you be very disappointed every single time if you put your expectations in people to show up when you think they would show up. You have that mindset, you're setting yourself up for failure. You shouldn't have high expectations as people. But during that time when I did had a lot of time to self-reflect though. And it was just how I approach my mindset towards socializing with people, that I'm putting my energy more into myself and not putting a lot of energy and stock into doing things with people, because I feel as though when things would go wrong, you can't call them, they won't be around. But at the same time, everybody has a different purpose in your life for a reason. And you shouldn't put everything on one or two couple of people that you feel as though that you hold so much value to that you become disappointed when they're not available. Okay, because at the end of the day, the best availability is for you to be available. You control your actions of the things you do and you don't do. So at the end of the day, when you do fall and you fall flat on your face, you got to be the one to question yourself and say, well, damn, how did I get here? Ain't no one caused me to have this injury. Ain't no one caused me to go through this pain in life. I did that self-inflicting wound. So at the end of the day, you got to check yourself in the mirror so you can't blame other people. But I say that to say, when you talk about your own personal goals, right, your own struggles that no one sees, let's talk about it. What is this something that you feel as though you can say, you know what, we all smile in public while fighting in storms in private, right? What is it that you can say that, something that you survived this past year that you didn't tell anybody, but you feel as though you was battling that deep inside. What's one lesson, a tough lesson that you taught yourself in silence? And for me, it was overcoming obstacles, right? I felt as though I had that ability to overcome obstacles and literally push on through when I thought there was times I probably would have quitted. And for me, I feel as though when I go into 2026, I have to then reflect. If I want to then push forward in other areas in my life, I got to be willing to push that through that obstacle, push through that hump, put my energy, put myself out there, or else I'm just going to remain the same thing that I had in 2025 and 2026, right? No results. So it's important for you to have that self-reflection, right? And if you are here entering the chat, please definitely let me know your thoughts. We're talking about the topics of what is it that we talking about in 2026, something that you survived in silence this year that you didn't share to nobody. What is it that you felt that you kept hitting inside, but you was working on yourself this entire time? So definitely please tap that in the chat for those who's coming in now. So that was something that I feel as though that I battled in silence that shaped who I am, that I put a spotlight on for myself, and overcame this past year, along with other obstacles too. There's things that's too damn personal that I can't tell you that I went through, because that's like, well, damn. But it was an up and down year, I would say. But overall, I'm blessed. I'm happy. I'm thankful. I'm grateful in a lot of ways. More than none that I'm able to even be here, believe it or not. We start off with saying that, but I feel as though this year was definitely a year that got tested more than ever in my life. I mean, not even in my 20s, I would say what I've dealt with through this entire year, from start to finish, literally from January to now, was just a freaking up and down swing. So that's some of the things I had going on. So, like I said, please let me know what's a battle that you fought this year that made you stronger, right? Even if you didn't, even if no one noticed what you was going through, what is that battle that you felt? And even self-reflection, right? When you talk about self-reflection, if you could think of your past, right? If you could think of your past self for one thing that you quietly pushed through, what would it be? I can say that with each obstacle that came, I was very, very surprised on how I overcame that obstacle. And I know that sounds so simplistic, because if you don't know, a lot of times you're a person in life who goes through periods in time where you feel like you're climbing a mountain to achieve something. It's like climbing up a mountain and you just falling completely off the cliff. That's how it feels a lot of times to me. When I'm taking on a challenge or taking on something that's new or restarting something over again, it starts mentally with me. If I can't push myself mentally, it's going to be hard for me to physically go on and do so. But it's me knowing that I would say, coming off this injury when I broke my foot, it taught a lot of myself in a sense of self-perseverance, right? Being able to adapt, being able to adjust, being able to maneuver around with very, very, limited resources, right? With limitations. I feel as though it was definitely able to push on through and not give up and quit, even when I was sitting in my thoughts, because a lot of times there were some dark clouds. There was some dark days, and I was just every day waking up doing the same thing over and over and over again. Listen, there was never, I probably would say honestly, if y'all would have seen me during that time, I was ballooned up, boy. I'm telling you. DoorDash will never, ever in my life, I promise you, DoorDash, and I love the help service that they get, but DoorDash or Uber Eats will never, ever, ever get that amount of money I spent on their damn app this past summer. It was crazy. Between August, September, and even earlier October, when I was not able to, walk on my own power and drive and do certain things, man, was I ordering every damn day. And I'm like, those fees is crazy. Even McDonald's is in my damn parking lot just to go from literally, you could say not even 300 feet away. Is a McDonald's sitting in my damn parking lot. I was ordering breakfast and coffee damn near twice, 3 times a week. That shit was damn near $16 to damn near $20 a pop every single time I ordered something. I'm like, yo, no. But during those times, though, when you are depressed, right, when you are going through those things, You don't care. You spend money. You just do things that is very uncharacteristic of you because you're sitting in your thoughts and everything is just dark and depression. You're depressed every single time. And it's literally tough to fight past that. You have to literally play gymnastics in your mind to say, yo, I can't let this happen. I'm pushing and pulling with all these thoughts in my mind. I'm trying to overcome that. You got to be the one to say, you know what, enough is enough. And there was a day I said, yo, enough was enough. And I went through an alkaline diet for like 6 weeks just to clear my lymphatic system. This holistic healer that I know, who I've known for years, she does yoga, she does thigh stretch, massage, everything. Her name is Oya Divine on Instagram, if anybody want to know. But man, she's always been a helper. But during this period of time when I was going for the past 6 weeks, boy, was she clutch. She was clutch. She had these mixed blend herb teas that she made. And literally, like, I had taken for 6 weeks, clean dieting, literally flushed everything out, if you know what I'm talking about, right? Running in about out that damn bathroom 2-3 times a day for the first week, but clean dieting pretty much. It was no protein, right? No meats. It was just straight fruits and vegetables. And no dairy products too. It was tough, a tough 6 week stretch. And then even Royal Vegans, who was also on Instagram, she was helping me with cooking meals when I needed some meal preparations. And you know, I can tell you, being on that diet was a tough stretch for first week. But I can tell you, I felt the most lightest in my body. I was able to function the same way I did at 5 a.m. at 10 p.m. at night. I felt less bloated. I had more energy. I could jump out of bed without any slight hesitation. Because when you eating protein, you're eating meat. Obviously, you're processing and consuming a lot, so it weighs you kind of down, right? It takes a lot for your body to break that down and process it. So therefore, you kind of always bloated. You feel sluggish, and waking in the morning sometimes may be difficult. I'm not saying that's for everyone, but I saw that it was a lot more easy for me to jump up out of bed. My stress level was down. I was more happy. I was more in a better mood. So it's just so wild how like certain slight adjustments that you make in your life can change for the better. And for me, that's what 2026 will be about. Making those slight adjustments. Putting myself out there a lot more, right? Doing some tough challenges that I know that I can't be hesitant to do. Like, because at the end of the day, I hate to say the cliche, you literally have only one life to live. If not now, then when, right? If not now, then it'll be never. One thing I always like to say, I would rather fail and try failing than me never knowing at all. Because I think that to me is the biggest thing that I have a pet peeve of, is not knowing the woulda, coulda, shoulda if I would have just tried something. I rather would try something and know that, hey, I learned a lesson from it. It didn't work, versus never trying at all, and never trying at all and not knowing where it could become. So that definitely. So like I said, leave those comments. Let me know in your chat. I'm gonna check the chat out to see what's going on, is being saying. Someone said the hardest thing for me is finding out that my mom has stage 3 cancer. You want to talk about depression? I mean, listen, shout out to you, man. My thoughts and praise with you and your family. I know how tough that is. I mean, literally, I can only empathize, right? There's a handful of people that I know that passed away throughout my life that had cancer. And it's like they always say, F cancer, right? Seriously, this makes no sense how we can have so much money in this world. The government takes so much into this world and puts so much stock into damn pharmaceutical companies and shit like that. And look how quick they came up with a COVID vaccine, but we cannot find something though to cure cancer. That's just nuts. But it's that they, and even with that, right? Even with that, when you talk about going through that depression because of family issues, that's for something for you have to have the strength to overcome, right? Because a lot of times too, you be so surprised who looks to you for courage. You be so surprised who feeds off your energy, and people can tell when your energy is off, right? If you're not a person who's always moping and complaining or always looking angry and sad all the time, and you're always the one who's happy, smiling, upbeat, people feed into that. They feed into that type of energy, and it's important for them, right, to see you in a certain way because it makes them feel good, right? Now, I'm not saying you owe anybody that, but for the sake of your own family, though, I would say, definitely keep upbeat. If you are that person who's a bright light and a light, that's a lot of times can help someone, believe it or not, push through. I try not to approach when I know I'm in a funk and I'm going through a state of like depression or whatever period of depression I'm going through. Uh, I kind of isolate myself, right? I kind of stay away because I don't want to rub that energy off to people. And I'm not saying that we all gonna walk around with a smile every single damn day. I'm not saying that at all. But I know that I personally don't want to impact other people's day in a negative way. So I kind of just isolate myself during certain periods. And it's not damn. I'm not in a depressed state all year round. Every couple of times. Mine's probably honestly goes through. I'll probably say the winter time the most, like literally late fall, early winter, between like around like sometimes it could be between October or it could be between like late November all the way out until like March. So literally those like 5-6 months where it's just dark and gloomy outside, and all of my favorite activities I love to do is just now become limited. I got to find other things to do, right? And I didn't even know for years what the hell was seasonal depression when it was brought up to me. But it was until a friend of mine in the past said, "Yo, you might have seasonal depression." I'm like, what the hell is that? What is seasonal depression? And I was like, "Yo, wait, what? I don't know what the hell. Like, what the hell is that? That don't even make sense. If you depressed, you depressed. You press. A lot of times, people depress more frequently than others." And I'm like, "No, seasonal depression is real." I'm like, "Yo, you got to put a lamp. Something like you got to put a lamp under your under. You got to sit under a lamp, and think about positive thoughts where you close your eyes." Imagine yourself somewhere productive or at a beach or whatever the case may be, and think about positive things you look forward to and you like to do. But it is real, and I probably was going through that for years until someone broke that down to me, because I would realize that funk every single year is around the same time frame. It's always between October and November, all the way up till March, early April, because I know the spring is coming and I know what's about to happen. I know the shift that's about to change. I'm like, okay, I look forward and I look excited to the things that I want to do all over again. But that light therapy definitely is something that it helps. It helps. Just as much as someone likes seeing the sunrise, light therapy can help too as well. Believe it or not, sitting under the lamp. And Tally, I know you just coming in the chat. We were talking about pretty much the topic of this year of this episode tonight is pretty much we were saying, like, what is it that you feel as though that what silent battles that you fought this year that no one knows about, right? The struggles that no one sees that you kept behind closed doors, but you was facing that challenge alone. So that's what we was pretty much talking about up in here, in the live stream. So definitely, like I said, keep those comments, drop them comments in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are, as far as what you felt this year that you had to overcome. Like I said, mine was knowing and understanding that I had a realization that, I can't blame people anymore for my reason of being still single in 2025 going into 2026. I can't constantly blame other people anymore. I have everything going well for myself. So at this point, I have to say I'm the problem. I'm the problem. And I can admit and be vulnerable in saying that I'm the issue. Is the reason why the hell I'm still single at this point, because I did all this. Like I said, I did all the self-healing, stripped down my ego and my pride, fixed the issues that I had going on. It's the same trend that I was realizing coming in and out of relationships and dating people. And at this point, it's just me. I have to realize I'm the issue at this point, because there's nothing going wrong, but it's me not taking that step and that leap forward, because I'm allowing myself to give a million reasons and excuses as to know I'm not even putting myself out there to find someone. I'm putting all my energy into my goals and my dreams and all my desires, but I'm not putting that same energy that I know I would want into dating too as well. So, that's what we was talking about here in the chat. Please let me know your thoughts. Let me know, please, in the comment section, how do you feel about that? Please share, like, and subscribe to the content. Once again, like I said, to people that, who just joined, we will be doing live streaming on other platforms too as well. I will be having a new YouTube page I mean, I'm sorry, a new Instagram page, and I already have a new Facebook page that I still have to kind of push and promote out there. But I will be going live on all three platforms starting the top of next year. I'm just taking out the rest of the next couple of weeks that's left into this year to build that up, and then we'll grow an audience even more. So see y'all once again. Hot Rods Blazing Topics. I'm out.